Hey guys, it's Postboxpat. Welcome back to a brand new Fortnite storyline video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about all the new changes, the upcoming event and the storyline at this current moment in time. Remember guys, if you are new around here, roughly 80% of you watching the video right now aren't already subscribed, so consider smashing that subscribe button and notification bell to stay up to date with all map changes, storyline and Fortnite Battle Royale news. But first off, we have these brand new plug type system which has been added in to the agency. Now these are apparently rumored to be something to do with this doomsday type thing which is going on. So I thought we'd look at these in a little bit more detail and kind of break down what we've got here. So some people were saying they could be missiles. I don't personally believe that, because when you look at these, they kind of look like a plug type thing, because the reason I'm saying that is they have this kind of like cog on the back of it where you could imagine the lid technically lifting up just like a toilet seat would. So that's the sort of thing that I'm imagining with this. But I think for that to happen, we may have to do something in game, because there's a total of 5 of these all over the map. And I personally think for these to open up, it may be more of an interaction type thing. That being said, we're now in section 1 of the video, which is going to be part of the live event stuff. Then we've got section 2, which is storyline, and section 3, which is secondary storyline, all in today's video. So stay tuned. But as you can see on screen right now, we have the first ruin. This is something back from season 8, and this is how I think the live event may take place, or at least lead up to it. So I think we may get some sort of interaction type thing where we have to do something to open up each of these plugs, which is really interesting. But not only are these plugs gold and they look pretty cool, but there's something really interesting which is kind of Greek mythology. This isn't related to the Fortnite storyline exactly, but the name Midas is a Greek god who actually touches stuff and turns it to gold. Now in that mythology, there is actually a thing at the end of it which gives us a little bit of kind of an insight to potentially what these plugs might be doing, because when Midas actually washes his hands in this river, he actually loses access to his powers, and the gods actually grant him access to do that. And then when he heads home or heads back to his castle, when he starts touching stuff, it no longer is gold, it turns back to its original format. So I think this again is a great theory to base the storyline around, maybe what these plugs actually are. Personally, I don't agree with it, but I think it's a great theory which I actually came up with just thinking about the mythology that I used to know from playing games like Smite, etc. I used to love Greek mythology, so I thought, you know, maybe it could be something related to Midas on that side of stuff, being the Greek god. So after Thought Tori was digging deep into the files, it looks like a few things have been discovered that potentially could be huge game changing for the upcoming live event, and that is this Doomsday device. Now many people have been commented on this. Some people were saying how Doomsday relates to the End, a little bit like the End 2.0 event. Now one thing we have to consider is the name of the files in the actual kind of game itself aren't usually what their actual thing is. Now I know Dogus and Catus, they were 2 of the actual bosses back, or kind of like the, I don't know, would you class them as bosses? Probably not. You'd probably class them more as like the characters, I guess, that are in the story, the huge monster and robot, but they weren't actually the official names for them. And that's the same with this Doomsday stuff. The name is going to change. Doomsday could just be relating to maybe just a term, as in something bad's going to happen, but maybe not the end of the entire world, or should I say chapter 2's map. So that's something to consider right there straight off the bat, because I know a lot of people are getting a little bit misled by it, but you shouldn't be. Don't worry, it's just a code name in the file. So with that picture there that you saw another picture as well, which kind of give the name of the hatch and the door. Obviously that's quite interesting to see, but I do think these will be more related to us interacting with them. But the actual Doomsday device, which we're just going to call the device for now, because the word Doomsday I don't think will have any relationship to it from past experience with other events. We can actually see Thought Tori doing a render of this. You can see some footage of that on screen right now. It looks like this itself is situated in the lobby screen, which is probably going to have some sort of relationship to the actual map. Maybe we can spawn things in and out. We can maybe vote stuff in here, because a lot of people have been talking about this voting system that we've been doing this season, which we actually haven't been doing. Now I know a lot of people were saying to me that we have been voting this sort of stuff, but I don't think we have. I think it's planned. I don't think Fortnite would program 2 versions of the grotto, and I don't think they'd program 2 versions of the rig either. They're both shadow locations. And also, did you notice the yacht stayed as ghost this update? interesting stuff going on right there, and it was originally Ghost in the first place. If you don't believe me, I've got some videos on my channel where I go over how to get all the boss weapons fast. Go and check that video out, and you'll see that the Meowsicle, or Meowscles, would actually be the actual Ghost variant. So he was never the mixed variant from both. He was always the Ghost variant. He would never changed to Shadow. He still remains as Ghost. So I personally don't think that that was not fixed. I think it is fixed. I don't think there was any voting involved. So that's where it relates to the Doomsday stuff, or the device, not really the Doomsday, but you know, the device itself is going to be a big impact because we have 2 room leaks right here from Fortnite as well. So these relate to the storyline. The actual Battle Pass loading screen is a big part of this throughout the entire season. So here is the Midas one. This one's actually quite hard to tell what's going on in here. It's very dark, and the render is not in HD yet, as it's not fully been allowed access to in the files, but you can get a rough idea what you can see in here. You can kind of see like a mini gold statue, which will probably render in. You can see a few other things. If I turn up the brightness a little bit, you can see the room a lot better. It's got more of kind of like a brown floor, and obviously a few different bits of furniture around, which haven't got the detail yet. But there is actually a secret passage there in the left hand side, and that's actually going to take us to the room with the device in, and this is going to be a huge impact for all of us in the Fortnite storyline, because this room with the device in is obviously going to be a big change for everyone. This thing is going to be brand new. It's going to be huge game changing for the actual storyline and the event, which is upcoming. Expect a lot of clickbait around it. I see people complaining in the comments all the time, why do you keep mentioning the clickbait and stuff? Because we are trying to beat and fight against the Fortnite clickbait at this moment in time. Nowadays, 50% of Fortnite content on YouTube is clickbait, so keep your eyes peeled. Okay, moving on to part 2 of this video. We're now into some of the storyline content. This sort of stuff is interesting as. Now, the first point I want to make out is about the skin himself, Midas. So Midas actually has a little bit of a different description, being the Golden Ghost. So this is interesting as, because the other 2 skins which relate to Midas are obviously Oro, we've talked about him in the past, and Raph. Now, Raph has been in the game since the start of Chapter 2 in Season 1, and he was clearly leading up to this season. They put him in for a reason, and he has the description of Midas Revenge's set, and so does Oro. So how do these 2 skins relate to each other? It's such a good question, and I still can't answer it 100%, because you know, you can clearly see that his eye is covered, so he's covering up his scar, and you can see that with Oro, he has the same scar as Midas. This is something that most of us probably will already know. They have the same scar, they're all the same skin in some sort of form or shape. But there's 3 different versions of them, and the story behind this is still unknown. So how can we put this together? Well, we know that Midas is alive right now in the Fortnite storyline. We see him in trailers, we see him in game, he has his office, and over at his office, his chair has actually been stolen. Is this part of the war between Shadow and Ghost? Maybe. Has it got something to do with Raph and Oro? Potentially. But are Raph and Oro previous forms of Midas? I do think so. I actually think that Raph himself could be the form of, once Midas has washed his hands, he turns into the original Midas, which we see, but Raph could be a form that he actually wraps himself up in to prevent stuff from turning to gold, and then the Oro version is him not wrapped up. Maybe, I could be completely wrong, but it's quite an interesting theory. But not only that, I also have another theory relating to this. Chaos Agent. Where's this geezer been? We all love Chaos Agent. He was a big part in Season 1's storyline. Where is he right now? No one actually knows. So, what are Raph and Oro doing? They're not in the storyline either. How did they get here? Chaos Agent. Does Chaos Agent go ahead and perform experiments on Midas himself? Maybe that's why the chair's been robbed, because he's trying to bait out Midas. Or he just wants Midas to come to him somehow. Or maybe even Midas is just moving out himself. Who knows? But are these experiments done on Midas which causes Raph and Oro to happen? I don't know. I don't think Fortnite will go off Greek mythology. They always base their storyline and map changes off Easter eggs and references to other things, but it's never actually that. like thing itself, you know, or that would just be simply copying and complete copyright issues with Fortnite, which they wouldn't do. Everything's always based off something, kind of like an Easter egg type thing, like a reference, but it never actually is that thing. That's what they can do on Fortnite. Just like we had John Wick in season 3, he was never actually John Wick, he was just the reference to him, and then we actually got him in Fortnite. You get what I mean with that side of stuff. But the chair itself is moving. It's moving everywhere. We're very excited to see where this is going to go. Is it going to stay in this Salty Springs house, which we saw it at yesterday in the map change video which I produced? Maybe. Or is it going to move out further? I can't wait to see how this Midas and Oro and Raph stuff all comes together. Or is this just going to be another little storyline which we never know the answer to? And unfortunately, I do have a feeling that may be the case here, because I personally believe that Shadow v Ghost may be a big cover-up for what is about to happen with Chaos Agent's secret army in the redacted area. In that bunker, no one knows what's going on. It's been closed since the start of the season. There's more stuff going on in there. We know that Chaos Agent is using slurp people now. We saw that in this trailer, which you can see on screen right now. So that, again, leads to a whole new storyline as well with Chaos Agent. The story is getting big, and I can't wait to see where it actually goes. So we're going to move on over to our next part of the storyline, which is actually a secondary storyline which is taking place in Fortnite Battle Royale, and that is the Gnomes versus the Misfit Toys. So first we have our gnome, who is located in the radio tower. He potentially is communicating with the other gnomes which are over at the woods. So inside of the woods, we know that we do have a few gnomes sieging one of the buildings which is currently owned by the Misfit Toys. We showed this off in our map change video yesterday. If you are new around here and want to keep up to date with all the Fortnite storyline map changes, I'm your hashtag #1 source for that. I've been doing it since season 4. I know every single map change off by heart every single week in the first few hours. I kind of like study the map daily, so it's just something I actually enjoy, and I love the little minor storylines that we've got going on in Fortnite. But this one is interesting because, you know, we have the gnomes all situated around. There are now challenges related to these, and they're hunting for honey. Now, I don't think this will be a major storyline, and I don't think this will affect anything to do with Midas and Shadow v Ghost or anything like that. But I do think these kind of items and objects with the gnomes and Misfit Toys could carry on throughout this season, next season, and even the future. Just like we had with the Stone People storyline, which actually lasted for about 3 to 4 seasons, which is a really nice storyline. We know that honey is a challenge as well. You can collect honey for 40,000 XP, and you can also collect all the gnome kind of telescopes. You can manage to edit them and make them look up, and obviously that gets a 40,000 XP grant as well. But this storyline itself is huge. I do think that we can expect maybe even the gnome in the jail to actually escape. And this is only a minor storyline, but this is the sort of stuff that we all love in Fortnite, the smaller little Easter eggs. So let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen in this situation right here. But that's going to be it for today's storyline video. I do hope it has given you an overview of everything which is going on in the Season 2 storyline right now. I can't wait to see how this is going to end up and how the entire season really is going to play out with this brand new event which we've got, obviously relating to the Doomsday files which we have inside of Fortnite Battle Royale. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Click on the videos on screen right now to go and watch some more of my content on map changes, which you'll probably find as interesting as this video. I'll see you guys over there.